I'm Teresa. We're gonna go through about a 25-30 minute myofascial release with a soft foam roller, and it's going to integrate some core work. So grab your soft foam roller and your mat and let's get started. Let's start laying on the foam roller, and it's gonna go all the way up our spine. So your butt and your head are gonna be all the way supported on the foam roller. Even tall people, tall queens and kings, you guys should, for the most part, all be able to fit on one foam roller. It might be like tip of tailbone and top of head, but your head and your butt should be supported. Your feet are gonna be your base of support. So that's gonna be a little bit of your balance. And we're gonna start by just kind of settling into the foam roller. Arms can come down by your sides. Take a big inhale. Just a few breaths here, big inhale. Trying to just settle into the foam roller. We're gonna open our arms out to the sides. Big open T, palms face the ceiling. And then you're just gonna start to go side to side on the foam roller. Not so far that you fall off, but side to side so that the foam roller starts to kind of massage into the soft tissue and the muscles in between the shoulder blades and in the spine. And you're just, again, going side to side to get the stretch. Get a little bit of that myofascial release. And as you go side to side, maybe you're making your range a little bit bigger. Again, not to fall off, but so that the foam roller can kind of come underneath the shoulder blade, allowing the front of the armpit to stretch. Keeping your arm heavy, but when your armpit is reaching for the ceiling almost, it's stretching a little bit of the nerves. Your pec muscles a little bit too, but our nerves, they run from our chest, they go into our arms this way. So opening up and just going side to side to let that stretch kind of happen. Especially for those of you who sit at a desk all day and you're kind of hunched over, opening up the shoulders and the collarbone. Okay. Bringing your body back to center. Feet are still your base of support. Your arms are gonna sweep up above your head, and then they're gonna come all the way down by your sides. We're doing snow angels, so the exact same thing you would do if you were in the snow to make an angel. Inhale as arms reach up. Exhale as arms come down by your side. And now here, when our arms are reaching up above our head, our shoulder blades are kind of moving away from the foam roller. So we're up, shoulder blades are away. And then as our arms come back down by our sides, they naturally move towards the foam roller. And so again, it's just meant to get a little bit of pressure in between those shoulder blades when they're moving in different directions and ways, trying to help release. And just maintaining your breath. Let's bring those arms straight up towards the ceiling. Palms are gonna face each other. Shoulders are not in our ears. Shoulders relax out of our ears, okay? Arms are gonna stay straight. Straight arms reach for the ceiling. And then arms stay straight. You're going to sort of hug the foam roller with your shoulder blades. So straight arms pull straight back down. And we reach and we pull down. This is a little bit of protraction and retraction of the scapula. And notice when we're pulling those arms straight down, we're not pulling in our ears. So shoulders are relaxed, shoulder blades are pulling straight down to the mat, not up to the ear. Reach, pull back. Maintaining your breath. And then we're gonna hug the foam roller with our shoulder blades. You're gonna spin your palms towards your feet. Inhale, arms reach up overhead. Exhale, they come all the way down by your side. Inhale, we reach up. Exhale, arms come down, and this time your chest can lift a little bit. Get a little stretch. Exhale, pull down. Inhale, we're finding length. Exhale, they lower. Okay, one more. Arms are going to come down by our sides. Forearms come down, palms are down, shoulders are relaxed. We're going to stretch our neck a little bit. So you're going to take your head off the right side of your foam roller, but I still want your nose to be pointing towards the ceiling. So it's just really pulling on the left side of your neck. Shoulders relaxed, they're out of your ears. Big inhales. Give me one more big inhale. We're going to stay on this side, but we're just going to rotate our head so our nose points to that right shoulder. Changing the direction of the stretch on the left side of the neck. Shoulders are still relaxed. Take big breaths. Knowing that when you're holding your breath, you're holding onto all that tension. So big inhales. Exhales, you relax the muscles as you exhale. One more big inhale. Head comes back to neutral on your foam roller. And then we're going to take it off to the other side. We take it off to the left. Nose starts by pointing towards the ceiling still. And then shoulders relax. Big breaths. Again, exhales, release some of the tension. Staying on this side, one more big inhale. And then we're going to rotate our head so our nose points to the left shoulder. Again, we change the direction of the stretch in the neck. Shoulders are relaxed. Big breaths. Just one more big inhale. And then head comes back to neutral. Okay? Just reorganizing yourself on that foam roller. Forearms are going to be down by your side. We're going to heel toe walk our feet towards each other so that our feet are about the width of the foam roller. Okay? We're going to start to do just a couple pelvic tilts, just so we can differentiate our way between your neutral pelvis, your tucked pelvis, and your arched back. So, your neutral pelvis, if you're on a soft foam roller, you might still feel a little bit of connection of the foam roller to your low back because your butt is going to be heavier than that space, and because most of us naturally have a little bit of a curve in that low back, you're still going to have that little bit maybe faint touch, but we're not imprinting necessarily into the foam roller, and we're definitely not arching away from the foam roller. Okay, so you want to find that happy medium. Again, forearms are going to be your base of support. You find that neutral pelvis, and then when we think about these ribs here, mine right now, they're kind of reaching up for the ceiling. Take a big inhale. And then as you exhale, you want to collapse your ribs down towards the foam roller. And then that creates an active core. Maintain that position and that engagement in your core. And then we're just going to alternate marching one leg into tabletop and setting it down to switch. Pelvis isn't moving. Your forearms are your base of support, so you're not rocking around too much. But if this is your first time on a foam roller, just know that you are on an unstable surface. And so this is to challenge your proprioception and also your balance. But you should still be able to maintain your breath without letting your ribs flare up to the ceiling, maintaining that core engagement, and marching one leg at a time into tabletop. Just start to warm up those low abs, quads and hip flexors a little bit. Okay, one more to each side. Sorry about that if you can hear that phone ringing, it's not mine. Okay, both feet come down. Open the knees for a second, little butterfly stretch, release in the hips. Big inhale, And then close the knees. Feet again, they meet at about distance of the foam roller. Forearms are your base of support. We find the neutral pelvis. We pull those top ribs down to the mat. And then we're gonna meet in tabletop. See, this is where we're integrating some core work. Forearms are your base of support. So you know you can rock side to side. Forearms, plant down into the ground. Shoulders are out of your ears. The shape of your leg is not gonna change. We're gonna go single toe tap down towards the mat and back into tabletop. Inhale as the leg moves away from you. Exhale, it comes back up into tabletop. Now, a few things again are happening. Core stays engaged. Ribs do not reach for the ceiling. Back is not arching away from the foam roller. So your pelvis is essentially being stabilized. When your leg goes away from you, your back isn't arching, okay? So your core is active. Also, you're able to maintain that breath and use the breath. Inhale, leg goes away. Exhale to pick it back up. And if you go to tap the mat and you feel your hips click or do something weird, or you feel like your low back wants to lift away from the foam roller, the goal is not actually to tap the floor. It's just to feel the weight of your leg, the thigh moves away from you, and then you can pick it back up into tabletop, okay? So if you are not tapping the mat, that's fine. As long as your thigh moves away from you and then into tabletop, you're good. Last two to each side, inhale the leg. Try not to change the shape of the leg so the knee doesn't bend anymore. Last set. And then both of those feet come down to the mat, and you can open your knees to come into a butterfly pose for a second. Take a few breaths. If you want to control but roll side to side a little bit, just do whatever feels good. Okay, big inhale, we're back to center. Exhale, close the knees. Feet are width of the foam roller. Find your neutral pelvis. We're gonna start with a little bit of opposite arm and leg, or people call it dead bug. Right arm is gonna reach up for the ceiling, and your palm is gonna face your core, your belly. And then your left leg is gonna lift into tabletop. So opposite arm, opposite leg. The opposite leg and arm are your base of support. So you have the counterbalance between the two. What we don't want to happen is when we reach our arm and our leg away from center, we're not arching our back here and then bringing it back in. We think about keeping that core engagement, ribs pull down, so that when we reach, we find length, but our core stays engaged. Exhale back to center. Inhale, reach. Exhale back to center. Inhale, reach. Exhale, center. Notice I'm not shaking around too much on the foam roller. Core is stabilizing your pelvis. And your opposite arm and leg are your balance points. And just nice and controlled. 3. Leg only goes as low as you can. Keep connection of your core. The higher it is, the less tension it's gonna be. I'm gonna do one more, but otherwise as low as you can without letting your back arch. Okay, let's bring it in. Arm and leg come down. And then left arm comes up to the ceiling. Palm again faces belly. Right leg in tabletop. Opposite arm and leg are your base of support. Inhale, we reach. We don't arch away from the foam roller. Exhale, center. Inhale. Exhale. Again, the higher you kick the leg, you're still moving away from midline or from center. Lower the leg is, more weight from that lever. So inhale, reach. As long as your pelvis isn't moving around, it doesn't roll away from you when your legs extend, and it doesn't roll towards you when your knee bends. It's none of this, okay? It's controlled. Inhale, reach. Exhale, center. Last 3. 2. 1. Bring the feet down, arm down, open the knees, find a butterfly for a moment. Okay, close the knees. Extend your right leg long on the ground. You're gonna roll off the side of the foam roller and come flat onto your back, so roll it out for a second. You can bend your knees. but I want you to just pay attention to how connected your back line feels to the mat now that we're not on this soft foam roller. Soft foam roller was putting a little bit of negative space along your spine and your sacrum, and it kind of just lets it relax. And so that's what you're feeling right now. We're gonna take the foam roller and we're gonna bring it underneath our bent knees. And then we're gonna lift our hips and we're gonna slide the foam roller underneath our sacrum, not underneath our low back, because I don't want us to be arching our back over the foam roller. This is a no-no. And not so far down that our back is curving down towards the mat. We don't want that either. We want it to be on the sacrum so that your hips are just lifted. You're not curling down, you're not arching over. It's kind of just there and it's supported. And then we're gonna bring both legs into tabletop, and notice I'm not curling down and I'm not arching over. Again, core has to be turned on in order for us to have this support of our pelvis. If you need to hang onto the foam roller so that you don't feel like it wants to roll out from underneath you, you can. Zip up the legs, ankles and knees are glued together, and all we're gonna do is a little bit of side-to-side movement with the legs. Legs stay zipped up. So inner thighs work to close the legs. And this is supposed to be a little fascial release in the sacrum and also in the meaty part of your glute. So this is kind of rolling over the meaty part of your glute. Some of us who experience some like sciatic nerve like irritation, this might feel good. If it doesn't feel good, as always, don't do it. But if you have a hard foam roller, this might not feel as comfortable, just know that. But we're also working our core. So as much as this is a fascial release, we're using obliques. We inhale as our legs go out to the side. My opposite hip is off the foam roller. Exhale, I pull that hip back down. Inhale through center, out to the side. Exhale to pull it back to center. Core work, baby. Yeah. What we're not doing is when our legs go away, we're not arching our back. And when we come here, we're not curling down. Core has to be turned on. Knees just go from side to side. They stay in line with the foam roller. 2 more to each side. And again, if it feels like it's moving around, just adjust so that it doesn't slip where it doesn't need to be. Okay, we're gonna come back to center. Both feet come down, and then you're gonna open your knees and butterfly over the foam roller here. Don't let the foam roller slide underneath the low back. Just let the hips open up a little bit. We take a big breath. One more big inhale, and then knees close. Okay, if you need to adjust where that foam roller is positioned underneath your sacrum, do it, but stays underneath the sacrum. It does not climb underneath the low back or at the tip of the tailbone. Okay, hanging onto that foam roller if you need to. Bringing both those legs back into tabletop. We're gonna go back to a little bit of core work. So, shape of the leg doesn't change. Single toe taps back down towards the mat. Inhale away, exhale it lifts. And again, the goal is not to tap the mat. The goal is to feel the thigh move away from you and then back up. Inhale away from you and then back up. Keeping that core, keeping your transverse abdominals turned on, so that corset around your waist, that engagement doesn't change. When you're taking your inhales, you're filling up your ribs, you're filling up your lungs, but your TA, your transverse abdominals, don't release. 4, 3, 2, 1. Both feet can come down. Butterfly over the foam roller. Let those hip flexors take a quick pause. Okay. Close the knees. Both legs come back into tabletop. Right leg extends up to the ceiling. Flex the foot. It lowers down. And then point to lift it back up. Flex to lower. Point to lift. We're just lengthening that lever. So instead of it just being in tabletop, the leg is long, so there's more weight coming and loading the lower abdominals. Whatever control you have, that's what you're doing. If this is too much, stay at single toe taps, okay? Bring that right leg back into tabletop. Left leg extends to the ceiling, flex the foot. Leg lowers, point to lift, flex to lower, point to lift. All core work, not meant to tap the mat. We're not arching over that foam roller, right? Because when our back arches, our core is no longer protecting our spine, and it's not turned on in the way that we need it to be in order to work and protect our low back. So if you're arching over this guy, don't lower the leg as low, or again, you stay back at those single toe taps with the knee shape in tabletop. 2 more. Last one. And then both legs in tabletop, both feet can come down. Open the knees. You can go side to side a little. Okay. We close the knees. Legs come back into tabletop, and then both legs extend to the ceiling. Notice that this did not happen. Did you notice my spine? My back is still flat. My hips are supported on top of the foam roller. And this time we're gonna point our legs, and we're gonna go scissor kick. So one leg lowers, and then we pick it up and we switch. And switch. Legs stay straight, you're not tapping the mat. Feel the leg pull away from you, pick it up towards the ceiling. Switch. Switch. 4, 3, 2, 1. Both legs are up at the ceiling. 6 times, both legs lower and lift. Inhale away, exhale, lift. At any time, if you need to go single leg scissor kicks, single toe taps, if something doesn't feel right, don't do it. But otherwise, both legs lower. 4, 3, 2. Last one. Both feet can come down. Butterfly open over the foam roller. Take a second. We're working a lot of deep core, so if some of this doesn't feel like something that you're used to doing, or that you don't have the control that we need here, build slow, start slow. The marching from the floor is going to be your base. You work up to that, so that feels good, and then you go from toe, then you go to toe taps, and then you can go double toe taps or just do that lengthening of the lever, but you're working your way up to heavier and heavier and harder, but wherever you're at today, wherever you're at tomorrow, that's where you're at, and you're doing a great job just by showing up. So let's just remember that. Okay, 2 more things here. Legs go back up at the ceiling. Again, you can do any version of anything that we have done. Both legs lower away from you, and then they circle out and up to the ceiling. Leg circles only are the size that you can control, but because we're here, there is no assistance of the straps or resistance of the straps like there are on a reformer. So your core is doing all this work. 2, 1, from the ceiling, guess what? We reverse. Same thing, your range of motion is only the size that you have control over. If you start to do a circle that's big and you can't get it back up to the top, make a smaller circle. Last 3, 2, last 1. Both those feet can come down and we butterfly open. Nice job, you guys. We're gonna do one more little thing for a stretch here. Remember, this is both core and a stretch. So knees come back together. We're gonna place our hands behind our right thigh and pull that leg in, and our left leg's just gonna extend and reach for the floor. You're not pushing it to the floor, it's just hanging. So we're getting the front of that left hip to stretch a little bit. And you can pull the right knee in. Big breaths. We're gonna keep our hands laced behind the right thigh. Push the thigh away from you so your thigh moves away from your chest. Flex your foot, and then press the heel up to the ceiling and bend that knee back into tabletop. It's a little hamstring stretch. When your foot is flexed, so toes to your face, and you press through the heel, you're lengthening through the posterior chain. So the reason your leg might not be going all the way straight, you might have tight hamstrings, but it's also a tie right into our quad and into the knee. So it's also strengthening your quad. 2 more. Bring that leg down. Hug the left knee in, lace your hands behind the left thigh. Right leg just extends, so we stretch the front of the right hip. Take a few breaths. And then left thigh is gonna push away from you. flex the left foot and then press the heel to the ceiling and back into tabletop. And it might not even go close to straight, it might almost get straight. But again, it's meant to be a stretch. So that big pull you feel in that back line, that's it. Keep the foot flexed. Last 2. And 1. And then just extend the left leg. Again, foam roller stays underneath your sacrum. It doesn't go underneath your low back. Let both of those legs stretch. Okay. Walk your feet in. Lift the hips. Roll the foam roller out from underneath you. Come up to sitting. And then we're gonna bring the foam roller, lay back on it so that the foam roller is kind of at the very base tip of your shoulder blades. Hands are gonna come and support the head. Knees are gonna be bent. You're gonna lift your hips up. And then you're gonna use your legs to pull yourself down and go up and down on the foam roller so that we're really targeting the shoulders, the upper shoulders, so upper back. So you're going from about the base of the shoulder blades towards the tops of the shoulders. Maybe your back pops a little bit. And then you're welcome to change how your elbows are, because when your elbows are wide and when your elbows are more narrow, it's gonna change again how your shoulder blades are and how your tension in your back is. So you might feel more knots that way, but just up and down, nice and easy. And then let's come back so that the foam roller is kind of bottom of the shoulder blades, butt can come down. Hands support the head. And then we're gonna keep our butt down on the mat. You're gonna inhale and extend up and over the foam roller, elbows go wide. And then as you exhale, you're gonna pull your elbows towards each other just to help get up, a little chest lift. Inhale, we extend up and over, big thoracic extension. And exhale, come up. Inhale up and over, keeping your butt down to try to open up the thoracic spine. And exhale, come up. One more. Inhale up and over. And exhale, come up. And then you're gonna keep your hands supporting your head. You're gonna rotate to the right so that you're on your right hip. And we're gonna you can lift your hips and you're gonna go up and down so that you're rolling the foam roller kind of behind the armpit where the shoulder blade and the ribs meet. I don't feel very sore there today, but if you find a spot, it usually feels so good. So if you get it, I hope you do. That's my wish for you today, is that you get that little nut. Okay, come back to center. If you need to reorganize yourself a little bit, we're gonna rotate to the left. And so again, I'm on my hip, and then just moving up and down. Foam roller is getting behind the armpit where the shoulder blade meets the ribs. This side's a little bit more tender than the other side, but I'm not getting it as much as I would like. Okay, come back to center. And now we're gonna reposition the foam roller so that it's really in the middle of the shoulder blades. Butt stays down again. We're gonna get a little bit more of that thoracic extension, but I'm looking more upper thoracic. So hands support the head. Inhale, we arch up and over, elbows go wide. Exhale, come up. Inhale up and over. Exhale, come up. 2 more. Last one. Okay. You can come all the way up. That is all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed it. A little bit of a myofascial release in addition to some of that core work. Stick around for more videos. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share this with your friends, clients, family, whoever you need to share it with. And that's it.